If you have a sweet tooth like me, this video is for you.
And if you also like fact checks, then yeah, this is also for you as well. Hi, this is Greg from Mystery Honey, and I'm going to fact check this video.
White processed sugar is extremely addictive. It's heavily linked to type 2 diabetes and heart disease and is just extremely bad for you.
So this one's kind of true. It can alter your mood and it can induce like a reward and pleasure sense if you consume quite a lot of it. Now, you can get addicted to sugar, that's true, but it's not as dangerous as other types of drugs. I just want to point out that the mood altering part of it and the reward pleasure part of it is very similar to how cocaine affects the brain. So it's quite similar to how drugs affect us. And when they did some studies, they found that rats actually preferred sugar over cocaine when it came to, getting a kick. And when mice were fed quite a lot of sugar, they ended up getting withdrawal symptoms in the end. Now, does this translate to humans? Yeah, kind of. There's a large body of evidence that's sort of pointing to the direction that we are, as a whole species, quite addicted to sugars. Not just granulated sugar, but sugars in general.
But this isn't all doom and gloom. There are some really healthy alternatives like honey.
Now this is an interesting one because honey is 80% sugar, or thereabouts. So it could have the same effect as granulated sugar if you eat the same amount of it. In other words, if you eat too much honey, the same amount as you eat too much sugar, yeah, you can get addicted to honey. The main difference between them is that honey is not an active ingredient in a lot of food, so you're more likely to come across granulated sugar than you are honey. So yeah, as an alternative to sugar, yeah, sure, it's kind of healthier, but it's still got the same dangers as sugar.
Now, I get some little sass queens in the comments
Here.
telling me, oh, honey has just got so much sugar in it, it's just as bad for you. Lies. Lies, I tell you. Honey has a much lower GI level than sugar, and this means that it doesn't raise your blood sugar levels as quickly. Additionally, honey contains something called flavonoids. Now, flavonoids are extremely helpful in fighting off free radicals in the body, which can cause oxidative stress. So essentially, if you eat more flavonoids, you're able to protect the body against everyday toxins, and on top of that, flavonoids are an antioxidant.
So there's a lot to unpack here, so let's first of all go over GI level, or glycemic index. So the glycemic index is a method of how carbohydrates deal with glucose in the blood. So this affects insulin levels and your blood sugar levels, okay? So a low glycemic index means that it doesn't cause too much of a spike in blood sugars, and obviously the opposite is true if it's high. Now, honey has a glycemic index of around 55 plus or minus 5. So that means it can go up to 60 or it can go down to 50, all right? And then when you compare it to table sugar or granulated sugar, it's about 68 plus or minus 5. So that's, 63 to, 73? I'm not very good at maths, can you tell? So yeah, honey does have a slightly lower GI index, but it's not a massive amount, and it doesn't matter if you're eating a stack of sugar. If you're eating a stack of honey, it's still going to have the exact same effect. Doesn't matter what the GI level is. As for flavonoids, she doesn't explain what they actually are. So these are pigments found naturally in plants. They're defined as a large group of non-nutrient chemicals in plants called phytochemicals, which have biological activities related to health. So yes, she's actually right. But she's not mentioning that the good things, these nutrients and the flavonoids, etc., they're only in trace amounts in honey. So it's not going to change your life or anything.
So essentially, honey is just way better for you than sugar.
It's a bit better.
But if you want to get the most out of your honey, which if you've watched this far along in the video then you do, then you need to be getting raw honey. See here, the article behind me is about raw honey. It's filtered in a way that the health benefits of honey are maximised, so make sure you get the good stuff.
Yeah, okay, she's right about this one as well. The best benefits that you get from honey, even though they are in trace amounts, the benefits that you do get from honey are more likely to get from raw honey, or rather honey from your local beekeeper who doesn't heat or process the honey in any way. They may mildly sieve out the bits of wax and bee from, the honey after spinning it, but it's not filtered to take out any of the pollen. So yeah, it's great. But please remember that honey is a food, it's not a medicine, and if you eat too much honey, yeah, it's going to have the same effect as if you eat too much sugar. Honey is still a sugar, okay?